watching Sun TV, broadcasting to the world from studios in Providenciales, in the beautiful by nature Turks and Caicos Islands. Sun TV, your source for real news as it happens.
The Turks and Caicos Independent Business Council says value-added tax will cause prices in the Turks and Caicos Islands to increase, and it may even force some businesses to close. I'm Leslie Garland, and thanks for watching. In an exclusive interview with Sun TV, 3 prominent members of TCIBC strongly rejected a statement made by TCIG's Chief Financial Officer, Hugh McGarrell-Groves, who claims that prices will be lowered after VAT is introduced at 11%, effective April 1st, 2013. The 3 officials, Nick Hayward, Mark France, and Jerzy Kaldezich, said in one voice that VAT will be a costly mistake, which the Turks and Caicos Islands will eventually regret that it introduced. Stressing that the tax burden on residents of the Turks and Caicos Islands will increase significantly, the TCIBC spokesman called on the British government to block the imposition of VAT because it will devastate this country's economy. Nick Haywood, who is an accountant and tax expert, told Sun TV that the tax burden in the Turks and Caicos Islands will shift from tourists to residents. Haywood also accused the interim government of misleading the people of the TCI by saying that prices will decrease.
The way that VAT is intended to be implemented here, the tax burden will transfer to a certain degree from the tourist base where it currently is, and our tourist base is relatively price insensitive. Most of our tourists can afford the taxes that they contribute to our economy, and it will transfer to the local populace, a large portion of which is struggling and can't really afford the price increases that we will see. The TCIBC has done some very detailed analysis, and you can check it out on their website, which clearly indicates that we don't see any way in which prices will do anything other than go up. And government have come back and said, well, prices won't go up, but they've really provided no analysis as to why they believe that and how they can support those statements that they're making, which are either a deliberate attempt to mislead the populace, or they have an awful lot of information which we haven't been party to yet. Whichever of those things it is really not a good thing for us. I believe we're talking about sort of basic products, food products, increasing by in the range of sort of 4 to 6%.
TCIBC has collected more than 3,000 signatures against VAT and has garnered support from a few hundred businesses in the Turks and Caicos Islands. Jerzy Kaldezich, the owner of Dizzy Donkey in Grand Turk, said the impact of VAT on the TCI will be so serious that some businesses may even be forced to close.
Of course, businesses that aren't making very much money now are going to be in a worse position after VAT, and they'll be under a lot of pressure, so the likelihood is there will be business closures, yes. Prices are set to increase by, I think, 3.6% to 6% across the general product range, but of course there are services which will in most cases increase by 11% because it's effectively a new tax on services. So we're set for some serious increases, and of course the suggestion by Hugh McGarrell-Groves and TCIG is that exempt items will in some way help, but of course these items are already tax-free. So there is going to be no change in exempt items, except for the fact that in terms of overheads and capital expenditure, when items are exempt, you can't claim back VAT on that capital expenditure. Consequently, there will be increases in capital expenditure and overheads, which will increase exempt items also. So the government position that there will be no price increases is inconceivable to anybody who's looked at the... I think the overall effect will be that prices will increase across the board, and depending in which area you're in, it'll be less or more, but nevertheless it will be an increase, and the effect of it will be is obviously people are not going to be able to afford to spend as much because more of their income will be spent on tax. And so the business community is obviously worried because that could cause a reduction in their sales, reduction in their business. But the people of the Turks and Caicos Islands should be very concerned because more of their income is going to be spent on tax.
Mark Franz of Blue Mountain Villas said TCIBC has done an analysis and they are satisfied that prices will go up by between 3.5% and 6%. He also predicted that even if that is implemented, it will fail.
The prices are going to go up. The government is asking the businesses represented by the Turks and Caicos Independent Business Council to implement this tax. We've done the analysis, we've looked at the regulations, we've looked at the import duty reductions that they have put forward, and we've run the numbers. And what Jersey said, those prices going up between 3.5% to 6% is about what we anticipate happening. What's going to happen is who's paying that extra tax is going to shift. Nick mentioned that there's a reduction in the taxes to hotels, which will be, those taxes are now being borne by tourists. And that tax is going to shift now to the residents of this island. Well, we believe this is going to be a very expensive mistake. That this is a tax, even if implemented, which we don't believe it should be, and we do believe that it can still be, we can still reasonably come up with a better solution than this one. But if it is implemented, it's going to fail. It will not produce the revenue that government says it will produce, and we will be either in the position of government having to raise that rate to try and get more revenue, which will of course not work either, because the problem is the rate is already too high. Businesses will close, things will go worse, from bad to worse. Well, this policy is being run from London and from Europe. There's been no local support to speak of for this. We have over 3,000 signatures on a petition against VAT. We have over 300 businesses who are going to be asked to implement this policy who are against it. There is no local support for this. Both political parties have indicated that they are not convinced that VAT is the right way to go. It will fail, and it can be stopped. It can be changed with a simple change in policy from London. And our duty is to make sure that London understands exactly what it's going to do to this economy, and I don't believe they want that. So we're trying to make that clear to them, how it's going to impact us. And we would encourage everyone to contact the government, the local interim government here, and the representatives in London who are calling the shots on this policy.
Brilliant.
A woman and two men were arrested Tuesday in a drug bust when the Royal Turks and Caicos Islands Police Force and the Immigration Task Force carried out a joint operation on a home located in the Bight area for illegal drugs. During the search, over 148 pounds of suspected marijuana with a street value of $672,540 was found in a vehicle belonging to the homeowners. The police have arrested a 50-year-old woman along with two males who are 21 and 45 years old in relation to their findings. Further investigations are ongoing into this matter. The $890,000 contract promised in this year's budget for a new saltwater reverse osmosis water production plant on Grand Turk was signed by His Excellency the Governor on Tuesday, October 2nd. The production capacity of the new plant alone will be 300,000 gallons per day, which is more than the existing 250,000 gallons currently produced on the island. Water demand on Grand Turk is around 350,000 gallons per day. Governor Todd's signature confirms the contract between the Turks and Caicos Islands government and Matrix, a division of Aquachem Incorporated of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Under the contract terms, Matrix will design, supply, install, and commission a new saltwater reverse osmosis plant for the water undertaking of the Public Works Department in Grand Turk. The project is a turnkey contract with a completion time of 19 weeks from the date the first advance payment is issued on the 12th of October. This will see the works completed by the end of February 2013. That's our Sun TV News package for today, October 3rd, 2012. Join us tomorrow when we bring you more real news as it happens, directly to your computer, your mobile phone, or your tablet. Until then, I'm Leslie Garland, and thanks for watching.